Hey everybody, and welcome back to Mason's Rainforest. I know I haven't made a video in forever, but I've been struggling with some stuff and I finally got around to making this one, so why not make a video about some plants that are struggling? When it comes to houseplants, some do really well, and others aren't going to thrive in a majority of homes. Here are 5 houseplants that are more likely to struggle. Everyone probably knows what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those little grow kits that come with a pot, a soil disc, and only like 2 or 3 seeds. They just never do well and they don't really last. They're just a novelty geared towards kids spending their parents' money. And I've never had any luck with them until recently, and I found out why. The companies are not giving you the correct care instructions. You cannot treat these like you would an adult plant. Most seedlings require specialized care, and the kit that I got was a little cactus grow kit. And many people don't know this, but cactus seedlings actually need humidity and consistently damp soil for about the first couple months or so. I actually have a humidity dome on top of this one, and it's actually doing well, unlike the next plant that I'm about to show y'all. This is a type of purple heart. It's often referred to as Moses in a cradle. I got it on clearance last year, and as you can tell, it's not doing so great inside. Believe it or not, this was at one point purple. It's definitely not now, and it looks like it's on the verge of death in some places. But yeah, this plant does not really do good indoors. If you want this plant to look good, you are going to need a really bright grow light and a whole bunch of luck. This plant is going outside once it's warm enough. Where I live, they're usually grown as annuals and people let them die back in winter, but I get attached to my plants, so it came inside with me. Hopefully by next fall, I'll have a decent grow light, so it won't look like this next winter. If you want a houseplant that's gonna look good, don't get a tree. Many people get palms or another sort of tree and expect them to look good, only to be disappointed when this tree inevitably dies. Most trees and palms are not suited for most people's homes. Don't get me wrong, they do look good for a while, but unfortunately most of them are just too hard to care for, require more space than most people can provide, or need really high humidity. If you do absolutely have your heart just set on having a tree or a palm or something like that, make sure you do a lot of research and find one that you're going to be able to care for so you're not just wasting your money. If you are okay with having something that's more temporary or isn't going to make it, you can experiment and see what works for you and what doesn't. I'm actually experimenting right now growing from seeds. I saved some date seeds from a bag of dates just to see if I could get them to sprout, and they did. I started them using the wet paper towel and plastic bag method, and then once they grew roots, I put them in starter pots. Now, I don't know how this will work in the long run, but hey, it's worth a shot. That's what experimenting is for. But speaking of stuff that might not work, that leads me to my next plant. Some plants that are sold as houseplants are not actually evergreen, which honestly shocked me when I first got into plant keeping. This honestly throws a lot of newbies for a loop. Now, these plants are fine if you get them knowing what you're walking into, but pose a problem when a newbie buys them or some other person that's uneducated, and once it's time for the plant to go dormant, they think they've killed it and throw out a perfectly good plant. These plants are actually what's called tender perennials, which is a perennial that will come back in warmer climates, but not climates such as where I live. Where I live, these plants are typically sold as annuals, but think polka dot plants. I cannot pronounce it, but I'm going to put it up on the screen, as well as most carnivorous plants and stuff like that. Those plants need a dormancy period, which most beginners are not going to be prepared for. Now, another thing that they might not be prepared for are the next plants. Many people describe photonias as being dramatic or finicky. What if I told you that they're not actually dramatic or finicky at all? They're only that way because their needs are not being met. Photonia need really high humidity, more so than most houses can provide. These plants really need to be in a terrarium to truly be happy. Mine struggled a lot until I eventually put it in that vase. I keep a lid on it, so I rarely even have to water it because it's mostly self-sustaining, and it's just the easiest plant that I have. Many people think they're so hard and that they can't do it, but the problem isn't you, really. It's the humidity in your home and the fact that not a lot of people are aware of just how much humidity these plants need. There is another alternative for people that don't want or can't make a terrarium, and that is humidity domes. A humidity dome, either from the store or homemade, will work just as fine, and your Photonia will be happy either way. Anyway, guys, that was all 5 plants that I had on my list today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe learned something new. I'm sorry that I don't really have much going on in the background. I've been sick, which is why I sound kind of nasally, and I haven't had time to set up another filming location. Hopefully, by next video, I'll have some more stuff going on in the background, and y'all won't have to just stare at a blank white wall for most of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you later.